Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? Thank y'all for checking out the channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. We have an important topic to talk about today, man. I'm just trying to figure out what is the infatuation with the LGBTQ community when it comes to the NBA, the NFL, MLB, just entertainment in general, sports entertainment in general, man. It just seems to be like a weird infatuation with the LGBTQ community, and it's just this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time now. Um, now don't get me wrong, the LGBTQ community has always had an impact on like the NBA, the NFL. You know what I mean? It's just right now, it's just very, very obvious. Back in the day, they used to slip things here and there, here and there.
We got robbed. We've been robbed. Hey, what? We got robbed.
What?
My rings. My rings are gone.
You ain't got no rings.
Sure don't.
Don't worry, Mrs. Hooper. If you ever do get a ring, State Farm can cover your jewelry in case of a robbery.
Mama's got no rings.
Really, baby?
I want a ring.
Somebody need to change his baby. Ooh.
State Farm.
But now it's to the point where they're very, very comfortable with just showing you who they're aligned with. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here going to say, this is not a video to bash that community in a sense, because to be honest with you, I don't really care about any of that stuff. You know what I mean? It is what it is at this point in time. Like, it's nothing you can really do about it. We're too far in. We're too deep in now. You know what I mean? But it just, like, I was watching the NFL Network yesterday when I was at work. It was just on the TV. You know what I mean? And they were showing like old like Super Bowl footage of Tom Brady and all that, but in the midst of all that, they were showing a whole documentary of players coming out. You know what I mean? And it's just, and I'm thinking to myself, right? If I had a son, right, and he was interested in playing football, he would obviously be watching a network like that. You know what I mean? And I honestly don't necessarily know how I would feel if something like if a documentary like that came on and he was just watching it. You know what I mean? The documentary was talking about how players come out in the NFL, like guys like Carl Nassib, who kind of made it like a thing. When he announced that he was LGBTQ on social media, just Michael Sam, all types of shit. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what does this have to do with football? You know what I mean? What does this have to do with football? Okay, that's my thing with it. But I have a commercial that the NFL dropped a while back. That I think Des Bryant, former Cowboys, shout out to Des Bryant, also commented on the commercial. Like, it was just a little strange, man. But we gonna go ahead and dive into the commercial just to see what it was talking about. So as you guys all seen, football is les, football is this, football is that. They also have a project that they're working on, the Trevor Project that the NFL is working on to, help players come out, I guess, express themselves, blah 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 blah. But my whole thing is to just going back to the same question that I had just asked. This have to do with football, and you go back to this commercial. You know what I mean? They said football is les, football is this, football is that. They ain't say not one time football was straight. Okay, you know, um, just a couple days ago, I was looking at the Mets. The Mets had like a game they were playing or whatever, and for them it was Pride Night. You know, I heard somebody say, I think it was Donald Trump that said something about he wanted to get rid of the Pride Month and just have a men's mental wellness month or whatever. I don't really care per se, but it's just I just think that when it comes to sports, right? And you know, if you look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, they get on players for a lot of dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Little stuff. You know, but when there's kids, you know, involved in your product, there's kids coming to see these games. Um, there's kids that want to buy their favorite players' jerseys and shit like that. I feel like those types of discussions, whether or not football is gay or not, or whatever it is, I just feel like those types of conversations don't need to be had at all. Because what you're doing is, because you got to think about it like this, you guys. The devil works in very, very mysterious ways. Like, the devil is not going to come to you as the devil, bro. You would just run away. Okay? They come to you subtly. Like, when what you're doing here is you're inadvertently, you might not mean, I mean, they're probably doing this on purpose, but what they're doing is they're inadvertently getting people to think about sex. You know what I mean? Um, that's what you're doing, because when Carl Nassib is jogging onto the NFL field, they're not talking about the man's stats. They didn't talk about the man's stats. They said, "Oh, Carl Nassib just recently came out a couple days ago."
Carl Nassib, the first openly gay active player in the NFL, he took to Instagram back on June the 21st.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest.
What does this have to do with football? What does this have to do with game plan? What does this have to do with his fit on the defense? What does this have to do with the man playing football? It has nothing to do with the man playing football. And like I said, a lot of the LGBTQ community, they might think that the NBA, the NFL, the MLB is doing this because they genuinely care for the community. They really don't. Everything that these big brands, these big companies do, it's all about money, okay? They know that the LGBTQ community has a lot of money involved in it right now. So, of course, they're going to try to partner up with them. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your equality, none of that. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about making their pockets thick. Now, the NFL is not really the only, like the NFL, the MLB, they're not really, the NBA too, man. You got guys like Jared McCain getting nail polish deals. I don't even think Caitlin Clark has a nail polish deal, and she just dropped like 50-something points not too long ago. You know, it's like little stuff like that. You guys all remember Josh Christopher and Jalen Green. Videos of Jalen Green getting leaked of, you know, him pounding out his homeboy, you know.
He's gay! I'm not gay. He's gay!
I mean,
Yo, speaking of that,
NBA
speaking of which,
ain't finding him for that.
that nigga on our team.
Josh Christopher, yeah, I know.
That shit fucked me up, bro. Man, I don't know how I feel about Buddy now, bro. That nigga was getting fucking humped.
Videos of, and how ironic enough, Jalen Green paints his nails. You know what I mean? It's just one big clown show, man. I can go on and on. You know what I mean? Dennis Rodman, back in the 80s. What team was he playing for? I said the 80s. Back in the 90s when he was playing with Jordan. wearing dresses, painting his nails, all types of fucking stupid ass looking piercings, all types of dumb stuff. And fast forward 2025, you got guys painting their nails, you got guys wearing dresses, all types of dumb stuff. But like I said, it's all an agenda, man. It's all an agenda. But the crazy thing about it is, and these are conversations that people don't want to have, you know what I mean? But you know what other place heavily promotes LGBTQ? It's prisons. Prisons, man. Prisons, bro. When you think about a prison cell, if you're a dude, you're going into jail. You're going to be around a bunch of dudes that's trying to take your butt, okay? That's trying to, get up on you. That's making sure you ain't dropped the soap. You know what I mean? Prisons also promote LGBTQ without people even knowing it inadvertently, Not just sports. We gotta go back. We gotta go to entertainment as well. Recently, Denzel Washington talked about kissing a dude for the Gladiator movie.
Actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
I loved the film. I wore.
You see guys, in the entertainment business wearing dresses and stuff like that. John Cena being one of the biggest faces in the WWE, wearing dresses, getting on the stage at the SPs butt ass naked. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of weird shit going on in sports entertainment, man. And to top things off, man, the games are more rigged than they ever been. You know what I mean? Like that last game in the NBA Finals when the Pacers just dismantled the fucking Thunder after motherfucking Pascal Siakam was looking like the Undertaker pre-game praying to whatever the fuck he was praying to. I'm just going to keep it 100 on the channel, man. No filter, no nothing. You know what I mean? I just think the problem here is I just think that they get too comfortable with mentioning that stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, you name it, they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to do what's more beneficial for their pockets. But I just feel like them going out of their way to be like, oh, Carl Nassib just came out the closet. They're trying to make it so more young men can feel comfortable, being LGBTQ. And you see, I'm not saying the LGBTQ community is bad, because that's not really my space to judge. I'm a straight dude. I stay in my lane. I don't worry about nothing else. Judge people, but when I'm seeing things like D Wade and his son, and how big D Wade was in the basketball universe, D Wade's son transitioning, Magic Johnson's son transitioning, it's just like stuff like that, man, raises a lot of eyebrows. It's got to, man, because it's like, what is really going on here? But, Fat Joe said it best, man. There's a gay mafia in hip-hop and in entertainment.
That's who I don't think are gay, but they painting their nails or they walking with Birkin bags, It feels like it's been a new trend, a new swag, a new style. Paint your nails, use a bag, wear a dress. This, right? My man's on Rico. Young Doug was wearing the skirts and this and that. These are the tougher things. So it's safe to say it's a fad, it's a trend. And guys are like, yo, I'm going to get more, I'm going to go viral. I'm going to sell more. The LGBT really supports you, so we got to act like that. So
Lord knows we're just fans on the outside looking in. We don't know what's going on in these locker rooms. We don't know what's being said. We don't know. But all I know is, man, you got to protect the kids. Gotta protect the kids, bro. The kids are the most important thing. You know, the youth. Gotta protect the youth, man. And I just feel like it's like if people are gonna be LGBTQ or whatever, that's fine. But there's a lot of people that don't want to be LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? That don't care for that stuff. That's not worried about that. And I'm just gonna go back to what I said earlier. That commercial I just showed you guys. You seen the commercial. They showed you everything. Lesbian, trans, gay, all of that. But not one time did they say football is straight. They ain't never say that. You know. So y'all make of that what you want, man. Y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for checking out the channel, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these big brands and their infatuation with the LGBTQ community. Do you guys think it's authentic or disingenuous? I personally think it's just disingenuous. I don't think they really care about the community like that. I just think they're trying to emasculate the population as much as they can. And on top of that, they're getting money out of it. So that's why they doing what they doing, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Protect your kids, man. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.